Hi, YouTube family. Today I want to talk about the fake life of the narcissist. And the reason I want to talk about that is because I did come across a crime video. And if you guys know me, you know I watch crime videos. But I came across this story that exemplified what it looks like when a narcissist lives a complete lie of a life and then entangles those he supposedly loves in this lie. And how it completely, of course, destroys their life because they believe the person, right? They believe the narcissist because it's a family member, it's a husband, it's a father. So anyway, they believe him. And this story I got from Crime Watch. I'm going to do a link. I'm going to make a link for you guys down at the bottom in the descriptions so you can watch the entire story. I just have a few snippets for you so you get the gist of what the wife went through and how she felt as she was going through it. And those who've been victimized by narcissists in this most intimate and deep way will understand what this woman went through. Those who have not gone through this will blame her and be disgusted and upset that she fell for this. But you have to understand that a narcissist is so unscrupulous, has no conscience, that they would take advantage of their own family. And so this is the story about this furniture CEO guy, multimillionaire, and here it goes.
When I told the girls at work, that I had gone out with this particular gentleman, and they were like, oh my gosh, he's so awesome. He was a really fascinating person, very kind, very thoughtful. Yep. I thought it was like a fairy tale, and I was the princess.
Yep. For those who have dated a narcissist or gotten more romantically involved with a narcissist, this is what happens. It starts off like a fairy tale. They call it a whirlwind romance. And there's a reason why narcissists do this. It's to capture you. But look at this picture. I mean, he took her out on expensive dates. He just took such good care of her. He was attentive. She said he was kind. And this guy, he knew exactly what he was doing from the moment he started dating her, because it took only 4 months before he started to propose to her, or the day that he proposed to her. He did not waste any time at all to sweep her off her feet. And this woman was generally a normal, average, fairly, decent and smart woman. She was a good person.
It was one big Brady Bunch in the making.
It was like we were one beautiful, big, happy family.
I mean, this guy seemed to have done everything right. He splurged on her. He was so attentive. He cared about her. He was affectionate. He even brought her grown children into the family business, hired them, gave them jobs, moved them from Texas, I guess is where they were from, over to Florida to blend with his family. They all got along. They shared time together, vacations and all that. And he seemed to be like the perfect, amazing, ideal husband, like a complete fantasy, right? Everybody dreams about having somebody who could love them like this and give them the kind of life that, where they don't have concerns or worries or anything like that, and just are able to enjoy their children, and their children also have a good life with them.
Daphne was living a dream come true. The newly blended family enjoyed vacations, celebrated holidays together, and welcomed new grandchildren into the world.
Look at this guy. He looks like he's got the perfect life. And that's how narcissists appear to everybody on the outside. Everybody looking at them thinks that this guy has it made. He's got a successful furniture business. He's got a lot of money. He's living in these beautiful homes, taking these great vacations. He has a family that loves and adores him. He has a new wife who's just bubbly and happy and just is incredibly attentive towards him and devoted to him. And if you have a narcissistic ex and you know that this is not the real them, you'd probably be looking over there just so bitter and angry, like, why am I over here alone and this guy gets to live this perfect, incredible life? Well, you're going to find out what the real the reality is and what the truth is.
Sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction. And you really couldn't have made this up. Getting him to describe his alleged activities would be like reading a Jason Bourne novel.
Yep, a few months into the marriage, the story starts to unravel. The life starts to unravel. It's not as perfect anymore. He starts to tell her the first lie, and that is he's got mad cow disease. I know, that's kind of crazy, but he gets a doctor to even confirm it and tell her, show her MRI pictures that, or MRIs that that indicate that he's got mad cow disease. And of course, she didn't know what she was looking at, so she believed the doctor. And here she is, like they're barely into their marriage, and she's being told he's got 6 months to live. He's just messing with her emotions at this point. I mean, if you can imagine that you're completely in love, your life is finally on track, and you have this perfect life, and now your husband's going to die in 6 months.
I started bawling because we'd only been married for a short time, and now I think he's dying.
So they tell the whole family, all the kids, that he's dying, and everybody's devastated. And especially, his new wife, who's can't believe what's happening in their beautiful home and life and future that they were going to have. She just can't believe it's being taken away from her. And then he drops another bomb on her. He sits her down alone and tells her this.
I have something to tell you. I needed to let you know that all that stuff I told you about the CJD was a lie.
So the CJD was the mad cow disease. And now she's confused. She's like, what the heck? What? She's just flabbergasted. Why would he do this? And her emotions are up and down. And I mean, can you imagine someone just tearing and ripping apart your world and just toying with you like this? Because they're building a ridiculous, crazy, fake life. And not only that, he's going to implicate her in some federal offenses, some felonies. And she has not got a clue at all that it's going to happen.
And at this time, I'm madly in love with him, still not realizing what he had been doing.
Yep. Now comes the Jason Bourne type story that he's about to tell her. He's telling her that he has to fake his own death. And that's why the kids need to believe that he's dying, and then eventually they're going to act as if he's dead. So he tells her that back in the day when he was in the military, he was working with the CIA special forces and stuff in South America, and he was leading a team that captured and killed the head of a drug cartel. And now the drug cartel wants revenge, and they've got a price on his head. So they're coming after him, and they're going to kill him. So that puts her and the kids and the grandkids all in mortal danger. And she believes all of this because she's in love with him. I mean, she's completely sold on the months and months, right, of love bombing that he had done, and all the idealization and all the lies and this fantasy world of a perfect life he built for them. And then it comes crashing down at the end. I'll let you watch what happens in the story, but she does end up getting charged with felonies for aiding him in all of this scam to try to fake his death and collect insurance. Their story ends with her having to pay back over $800,000 that he collected from the insurance company while claiming he was dead. And she also had to serve, I think it was 17 months in jail and another 5 years or something like that in house arrest. So she's not able to even leave the house. She could only leave it to go to church. But that was it. I mean, this is her life. She has nothing that she started with when she first met him. She even recounted that. She said she even had a car and a house, and now she doesn't even have that. And on top of it, she has $800,000 in debt that she's supposed to repay. So it's just absolutely incredible what he did to her. But while she was in jail during that 17 months, he still was trying to send her letters, love letters, telling her how much he loves her. Fortunately for her, during that time in jail, she came to realize that he completely played her. I mean, she was devastated. And you can see in this interview, years later, that she was still devastated by what he had done to her. So she did not reply back to him. She doesn't want anything to do with him anymore. And she's trying to, start her life again and pick up pieces. And obviously she's doing, she's at a worse place than she was before she met him. But she's going to keep trying. So that's the amazing thing. She came to her senses, even though it took so long and so many people to finally wake her up to the truth that he had been lying, and this whole fake emotional roller coaster he had her on was all fake, all of it. So that was the reality check for her. She had to wake up.
The fairy tale, it doesn't exist.
One of the amazing things in the story for me is that she still has a heart. She still is kind and gentle and good, even though he is in jail and has destroyed their life and destroyed her. She would have been so much better if she had been, on her own and not met him ever. But she's going to maintain the integrity of who she is, even though she now has to carry around with her a felony. She is now a felon, and she will die a felon, is what one of the investigators was saying. He was so upset for her that her husband did this cruel thing to her. And he could see that her husband was just evil to do such a thing to anybody, to his wife especially. But those of you who are on this channel who are looking for answers and trying to understand the narcissists that hurt you, know that it's just incomprehensible to most people that a person could be this cruel, that a person could come in and take advantage of you. I mean, this guy was, in her bed. You know that, right? He's sleeping with her. He's involved her kids. He's involved his kids. He didn't care. What he cared about was his own survival, how he was going to get to the hundreds. I'm sorry, it wasn't even hundreds of thousands. It was supposed to be, I think, $6 million in insurance is what he was looking for. So he wanted to use all these people to get to that end, and especially her. He had to have somebody help him fake his death. He knew she wouldn't just jump on board and help him without convincing her that she was in danger and her children were in danger, and so were her grandchildren. And that's why they had to fake his death and collect the insurance to make it look real that he actually died, to throw the cartel off. And that's the sickening thing about this. This poor innocent woman pulled her in. He knew she was, lonely, and she was looking for love in her life at this point in stage in her life where she's raised her kids and now it's her time. And no, this is what they do. And, and for a lot of people coming out of abusive relationships like that, it turns them. It makes them into something they're not. It makes them so angry and bitter that they cannot move on, and they give up. They just give up. They don't care anymore about their life. They don't care about future. But I want to tell you guys that, there's still life. There's still a possible future. Yes, you have to heal. Yes, you have to go back and forgive yourself for all the things that you did. And I know, there are people in comments on the videos who are just condemning her for being dumb and all this. Well, don't you think she's already doing that to herself? She's probably has been beating herself up for all the things that she believed, and she's so ashamed and upset with herself. But at some point, she has to forgive herself, just like you have to forgive yourself, like I have to forgive myself. And even children of abuse come out of that believing it was their fault that they received the abuse. And, You can tell, when you listen to stories about children believing it was their fault that they received the abuse they got, it makes you want to tell them, no, it's not your fault. And if you can understand, that's you too, the victim of narcissistic abuse. You have to understand that it was not your fault, that you believed them, that you became their victim, that you were used by them, that you were manipulated by them, that you believed their lies and their fantasies. And it's not your fault for wanting good things for yourself that they tell you that you deserve. And they tell you they want to bring this to you and give this to you. It's not your fault for believing it. Of course, it's human. So I want you guys to know there's so much about you that's good. And I want you to know that just because the narcissist came into your life and tried to take a piece of you with them, and you might feel like they did, know that you can get grounded enough. You can start over again. You can rebuild. It may not be starting over from where you were before, but it's starting over from here, from this point on. You guys, you can do this. There's always hope and opportunity and joy ahead for you. You guys, I have hope for you. If this woman can do it and I can do it, I know you can do it too. If this video has helped you or you enjoyed it at all, please subscribe and please like it and comment. I appreciate you subscribing. I appreciate you supporting this channel. And I wish you lots of love and wholeness and healing. Blessings to you guys.